All right, guys, for this trek into DIY tech, we're going to talk about remote ID. Yeah, it happened. So we're going to talk about, uh, what it applies to. And we're also going to talk about the rumors that it did not happen. Um, and we're gonna look at a few remote ID solutions that may or may not work for you, but these are some of the ones that are available out there. So we're going to cover all that today in today's remote ID. So if you don't know what remote ID is, it allows somebody with a mobile device and an app to see your drone's ID and also the remote station that's flying the drone, meaning where you are. And so mixed, right? This is like this sets some people off, and others don't have any feeling about it. It's just part of them flying. But um, yeah, let's let's go ahead and look at some of this stuff. All right. So the first thing is did remote ID actually happen? And a lot of people are there's rumors going about that remote ID didn't happen, this, that, and the other. So September 16th, 2023, remote ID went into effect. Now, what happened was that there were not in it. So the FAA determined that people couldn't comply because the supply of remote ID modules or the stuff that you would use to retrofit your drone that you're already flying, not enough of those were available for everybody to be able to reasonably comply with remote ID. So, as of my information, I may be wrong. So, like, if share in the comments if any of the stuff that I'm putting out is wrong, and we'll get it corrected. But as of this video, the FAA had pushed everything back 6 months, meaning it is in place, but it is not being enforced. So there's a difference, right? Remote ID is on. They're just not making a big thing about enforcing it right now, to give manufacturers a little bit of time to come up with the supply of remote ID modules that we're going to need to retrofit all these drones that are already out there. So that's one thing. The other thing is, who does this thing apply to? So 250 grams, right? If you're flying a drone that's heavier than that is that heavy or heavier than that, and the thing is, a lot of drones, the camera and battery alone, right, are gonna get you to 250 grams. So if you have and also, it's not just FPV drones, right? It's your models. So your fixed wing models are also in this. And if you have a decent fixed wing model plane, it's going to be up there in weight. Just because functionality, unless it's a little balsa wood rubber band powered thing, it's going to be up there in weight. And even so, now you have to also include the weight of the remote ID solution in there, right? So your drone is already, like if you have a drone that's 249 grams, and now you add a remote ID tag on there because it's close to the weight, you're over the weight now. So very interesting thing, right? So, of course, if you're a Part 107, you have no choice in the matter. You have to put the remote ID on there. If you're if you're a hobbyist, wow. Now, I've seen a lot of different, pricing, a lot of different pricing schedules on this. And so I'm going to show some of those solutions. I've picked up two of them, just to show, and you know, as we do here, we didn't pick up the easiest one to use. We kind of went middle ground on it. And then we picked up a one that's in OEM and, you know, manufacturer type of remote ID. So just so you can see the difference between the two. And I'll show the easiest, the one that's, in my opinion, the easiest one to use. We'll show that one as well. And I'm also going to, in a second here, we're going to see, you know, some of the resources that you can use to get yourself up to speed. So I'm not going to go, again, not going to go into a real deep dive on remote ID. We're just going to give you the resources so you can go ahead and look that up yourself. So we're going to go to the laptop. All right, so FAA wants us to comply. So let's look at what tools they've provided for us to do that. They have a few things online, and I'll put the links down in the description so you guys can get to these pages as well, because I think these are really good. And so they go, you know, remote ID, what it is, you know, who needs to use it, and they've got a bunch of shareable links here. And so these are really good because I like pictures to help me, you know, remember everything and see how everything is connected. And so they've done that, and I think these are really good. So there's several parts to the remote ID toolkit. So let's go to the main one. And this was a very detailed description of you know, what they've put in place and what you need to be compliant. Comply to fly. But okay, so this is the main one. Again, this is the introduction to remote ID. I'll put the link down below, like I said, and this is the final rule. So this goes into detail specifically on the rule and what it covers and restrictions and so forth. So like I said, we're not going to go into too heavy a detail because I think this is worth reading for yourself to get informed on what it is. So again, if you're flying something that's 250 grams or over, you're gonna have to well, it's up to you if you're going to comply, but there can be fines and other things that can be involved if you don't. So now you have you also have if you're part of a club or your local FAA, which is sites that are identified as sites where the FAA has identified that you can fly in, and the whole area is identified as an area that that drones are flying in. And so you don't have to have an ID per drone. You can go and fly in these areas. And again, if you're a model aircraft person, you already know about all these. So let's get into the remote ID devices. So I'm going to show you what's out there already, and I think that and again, they haven't paid for any of this. They haven't paid me to advertise for them. This is not an advertisement for any of these devices. These are just the ones that I was looking at when I was doing my research, and so they haven't sponsored this video in any way. So none of these are connected to our channel in any way. But this is the flight test, the FT Easy ID. This one, from what I've seen, is the easiest one to implement. All right, so you just plug this in,
It has its own GPS antenna. All you have to do is power it up and connect it to the app. Now, Flight Test has an app that's a customer app. It's just for flight test customers that it gives them gives you information, gives you this whole bunch of things connected to it. So you can check that out if you're doing model or model flying or anything like that. It's a very good resource. Flight Test has gotten their own remote ID. Now, this is one of the more this is on the more expensive side, but I think that the price more than the functionality of it and the ease of use is more than worth it. So you can see on their website, it's very well, you have a really good description here. Videos, you will not have an issue plugging this in at all and getting it to work right away. Now, this is one of the things that I wanted to show you. In your research, while you're doing looking for a remote ID, make sure that you go on the FAA website and see that it has a Declaration of Compliance. Okay, so you're going to need a Declaration of Compliance in order to be sure that you are compliant with the remote ID rule. Okay, do your research, and yeah, it's always best to do your research. I'm giving you all this information, but I always encourage everybody to check it out for themselves. So very important Declaration of Compliance, and we're going to have links to those below as well. So this module, and again, Flight Test is awesome. For some of these modules, I had to go dig myself to find the Declaration of Compliance. They have it they have it shown here, and you can use this numbers. You can use the FCC identifier here if you want to verify that this is actually in place. You can use these FCC identifier to go on the FAA website and do a search and find the Declaration of Compliance. And so this one also comes with you can get a case for it and everything. But these videos are also very awesome. Even if you don't go with this one, check them out so you can see what's available. So now that we've seen that, let's go on the FAA website. This is what the Declaration of Compliance looks like. And so now when you get your drone set up, you are also going to have a listing in here with your drone on it. It's going to have your serial number, but when you set up your remote ID, you'll have instructions on how to do that. So there's also the Spectrum ID or Sky ID. There's drone tag, and you can see the different prices. This is 49 euros, which is like 52. Okay, don't quote me on that one. I think it's like 52 bucks, but yeah, don't quote me on that one. And so I was able to find the Declaration of Compliance for each of these, except as of this video, I was not able to find the Cube ID compliance, and this is the lowest cost one out there that I have found. And so so they have extensive instructions on how to install this into your drone. So this is the one of the more complicated or complex installations. So what I'm gonna do now is, so there you go, that's the Cube ID. This is the drone tag DRI, Spectrum, and the FT Easy ID, or Flight Test Easy ID. The one I'm going to show you today, and the ones we've got in, are the drone tag and the cube ID. So I just want to show you those. I'm not going to show you the Flight Test Easy ID because I think that's this one's once you watch the videos, this is ridiculously easy to install and use. So I'm not going to show you that. I'm not going to bother showing you that one. If you pick that one up, you have plenty of resources there. What we're going to look at is the drone tag and the cube. We're not going to install the cube ID, obviously, because that one is some work to install. We're probably going to do this one here. We'll just plug it in and see if out of the box we can get it to show up on the app. So let's go to the unboxing.
All right, so here we are. This is, yes, I've already broken into them. I'm sorry, I couldn't wait. So this is the cube ID. This is how this guy comes packed, and yeah, some of you are cringing at the amount of packaging, I know. So check this out. So that looks tiny. That looks tiny. So let's see. Let me make sure that there's no. Yeah. So there's a. I'm not gonna show you my serial number. So there's the cube. There's the cube, and I don't have any. I don't have any change on me, so I can't throw a quarter up there so you can see. But there's the thumbnail. And the so now we have the drone tag. Drone tag is I'll say it's a slightly chunkier, but still pretty small. So what I'm going to say now is, the thing is this. So with these guys, they are obviously smaller than the flight test solution, right? But these are, so I'm a person that likes to build stuff from like the ground up, right? So I like to use the grains of sand and build a castle instead of the bricks, right? So what I'm going to say is these are super tiny and probably a lot lighter than the test flight solution or flight test solution. But the thing is going to be, you probably will have to be a drone manufacturer to get this one in there and working. This is not going to be, you plug it in and it works. You have to go in there and set up all of your different parameters and things like that on your flight controller to get that to work. This one is plugs in between your GPS, I believe, and we'll get into that later, or we'll get into that when we actually install this guy into the drone that we're working on currently, which will be that'll be in another video. So we're not going to do the install today. I'm just showing you what these things look like, and this one I believe plugs in between between your GPS and your flight controller. But these are the relative sizes of these things. And the flight test one is probably like that because the hole centers on the flight test one are 20 millimeters, right? So if you look at 20 millimeters for the holes, and the board is just outside of those holes. So plus it has its own GPS antenna. So again, these do not have a GPS antenna, battery, or anything like that. The flight test one is going to have its own battery, GPS,
and so forth. So it's a standalone device, and that one can be moved from, from drone to drone fairly easily. These all come with the cables that you're going to need to plug them in. So there you have it. Those are again, we're gonna try both of these. We're gonna install this one first. So look for that video coming soon, because we're trying to get that that drone up in the air. It's gonna have cameras. We're gonna have cameras set up and all of that. But there you go. 2 or 3 solutions for GPS, not GPS, remote ID for you. All right, so I know we went through that really quick. Again, we have the timestamps, so you can go back and look at stuff over again. But I just wanted to give you a quick overview. Hope that information helps if you're trying to make a decision on remote ID. Again, do your research, find out, make sure that the solution that you're going with is compliant, so that if you are trying to be compliant, you actually succeed. Just make sure it's the solution you're going for is listed. And again, if you want to see the installation of that module, as I said, we're going to put that together and go through that whole installation here pretty soon. So just go ahead and click on the bell so you get notified when that video comes out. As always, I appreciate the time you spend with me. Like, subscribe, and share so we can continue to make these videos and just keep getting information out there. And we'll see you in the next one. All right, so what's this supposed to plug into again? Bye.